Suddenly, Miss Hurd approached with this look on her face. And she just said, "What did you just do? What did you do? You took your boots off." "Yeah, yes, I did. You were busy, you know." No. That's my job. That's what I do. You don't do that. I do that.
How could you?
She was visibly shaken or upset.
You did it! You did it! You did it!
That I had broken her rules of routine.
Don't even think about anybody coming for you. Not the doctors, not your agent.
I thought that strange. And then once you notice something like that, then you start to notice other little tidbits and things that come out.
If I die, you die.
And then within a year and a half, she had become this another person almost.
It's for the best.
Hey, please!
Almost done. God, I love you.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and I know everyone's either kind of watching live or catching a lot of news on JD versus AH, a lot of other channels. So I've tried to kind of pick my spots to where, you know, something really important happens, and I've left the kind of day-to-day reporting to the people who are covering it even closer. But today, Johnny decided to take the stand, and he put on what can only be described as a master class, completely appearing sympathetic on the stand, completely demolishing any and all kind of claims that were made about his behavior and things that he said or done, so much to the point where you know, yes, he's an actor, but the things he was saying just, it appears to me they were that effective simply because they were true. And he has gone out of his way to basically point by point completely destroy this narrative that he's ever raised his hands to AH or that he's ever done any of this stuff. And I believe, at least from what I've seen of the live coverage, that he appeared extraordinarily truthful, honest, and I believe he also did a pretty good job painting AH as a complete psychopath. You could see some of the things that are happening. You see AH sat staring straight at ex-husband Johnny as he took the stand. The Aquaman star, who wore a cream blouse with her wavy blonde hair and a ponytail, looked steely as Johnny recounted, in causing some of his fans to cry. Australian fan who traveled from the Down Under to watch had tears in her eyes as her favorite star addressed the jury. "I'm crying because I see a broken man." Now, the attendees sat gripped to the three-time Oscar nominee's words, and many of them sniffled as he spoke. After 3 people were booted from the courtroom last week, security seemed beefed up Tuesday. Nearly a dozen Fairfax County deputies were stationed near the hallway outside the courtroom before the testimony. Now, these are people that, you know, had issued, you know, they had sent some unkind words to Amber, I believe. He also described many things about his childhood and his mother and the things that would happen, none of which, by the way, are relevant to this case, in my opinion, but they do go towards kind of setting him up as a more sympathetic figure. Some of the more important things that were kind of revealed is that he flat out said, "My goal is the truth. I am here to clear my name." He also said pointedly on the stand, he took the stand Tuesday in this defamation trial against his ex, "Never did I reach the point of ever raising my hands to her in any way, nor have I ever to any woman in my life." That's on the record now. So him actually getting on the stand, I think, is extraordinarily important, because that line, if he can genuinely convince them that he in fact did never raise his hand, That's the kind of thing that will win him the defamation case, because these are things that she alleged directly. I mean, he also had a nurse, a nurse on set, recalling having to scour the turned upside down house for the tip of his finger, which of course was injured when Amber chucked a bottle at him. There's new evidence too, as of 2 hours ago, when Johnny and his ex face off again in court. The trial, the two may be sparring with ghosts as well as each other. Friends and family members told the Post. The star-studded witness list includes Elon Musk, James Franco, Paul Bettany, Ellen Barkin, representatives for Disney, Warner Brothers, as well as the ACLU and LAPD. Among the evidence is previously unseen body cam footage from one of the ex-couple's altercations, as well as some very spicy text messages between Amber and Paul Bettany. Now, if in any of these text messages, he admits to doing things, or she, has some sort of evidence, that's one thing. I'm starting to think that she genuinely does not have evidence of this type of bad behavior. And the media is, he also, by the way, takes a stand and says there's absolutely no truth whatsoever in the things that she said about him. Johnny opened his testimony Tuesday, calling Amber's Washington Post story heinous, adding, "I never raised my hand to her in any way, nor have I to any woman in my life." He went on to say that he's taking a stand to prove the claims have no truth in him whatsoever, and because he feels a responsibility to stand up for his kids, referring to his daughter and son. "I thought it was diabolical that my children would have to go to school, have their friends or people in school approach them with this infamous People magazine cover with Amber with a dark bruise," the Pirates of the Caribbean star said. "I didn't deserve that, nor did my children, nor did the people who have believed in me for all these years." Johnny continued his testimony by discussing the how Amber would raise her hands to him and the emotional damage that he and his siblings had suffered. And that's and he talks a lot about essentially he paints Amber as like a lunatic. Now, is she a lunatic? Probably. He probably is too. But I think the facts of the matter must remain in that what matters is, was he defamed? Were the things that she claimed were true? And I just don't think there's been any evidence that would support that. And the testimony now, if Amber goes on the stand, that's going to be very interesting as well, because she said some things on tape, like she's admitted on tape to raising her hands to him. Obviously, the tough part of all of this is going to be, Johnny really committing to the, I'm obsessed with the truth. I am not lying about anything. I hope he's not, because it kind of sets him up to be, if they poke a hole in anything he said, then kind of the whole house of cards falls down. When you say, of course, I'm obsessed with the truth, I felt like it was a responsibility to stand up for myself in that instance. Not only that instance, but stand up for my children. I'm using words like diabolical to describe Amber. It seems correct to me. CNN's coverage, of course, is very different. Yep. Johnny acknowledged in his testimony that he and Amber had arguments during the relationship, but never did I myself reach the point of ever raising my hands, nor have I ever in any woman in my life. He also described his parents' tumultuous relationship and all the horribleness that him and his father and his siblings had to go under. JD was not referred to by name in Amber's piece. Still, Johnny claims that it led to financial losses for him, including being dropped from future Pirates of the Caribbean films after he led the franchise for 15 years. One day you're Cinderella, so to speak, and then in 0.6 seconds, you're Quasimodo, Johnny said, of his career how his career turned off after the claims were made against him. "I didn't deserve that, nor did my children, nor did the people who had believed in me all these years." And I would say that that's very true. You have I don't my coverage is a little bit different than some other people's, and obviously that's okay. But my position is I'm not simping for Johnny. I'm sure that he shares his own share, has his own share of the blame in this whole thing. But what I am saying is, right now there's no evidence that he ever raised his hands. That I've seen. These were direct claims made by the piece in the first place, and we know that there were direct damages caused by all of this. Him losing Pirates of the Caribbean, obviously being fired from Fantastic Beasts, and still getting paid in full, which is probably good for him. That movie flopped. So we're going to have to see, we're going to see, is Elon going to take the stand? Given his love for drama, I have a feeling he might. There's some torrid stories about him, Amber, and another woman, and all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, good on you, Elon. I appreciate that. But I would say that Johnny did a pretty good job painting himself as a sympathetic figure today, and also pointing out a lot about Amber being what appears to be an absolute lunatic. I'll continue to cover this trial as big things happen. I hope that you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you click that red subscribe button down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.